Hi there, it's Mr. Wedge, and today we're going to use the Ben-Day dots that we made last class and the portrait sketch, and we're going to put them together and try to make a picture the way Roy Lichtenstein might have it look. So first step, I'm going to make sure I have my stuff, not somebody else's, because we have a lot of paper that we're working with today. And I'm just going to cut right around my portrait. I'm going to be really careful on the edges, make sure I don't cut anything off I don't want to. But the nice thing is, if you do accidentally cut an ear off or something like that, you can just glue it back down together and nobody will know. So you can also fix mistakes as you cut. If you didn't like the shape of something when you drew it, you can just make it a little bit larger or smaller when you cut it out, like I just did with the ear. And I'm just turning my paper instead of my scissors. My scissors stay straight and I just turn my paper. I think that's easier. There we go. So scraps going in the recycling bin, and then I've got my face. I'm going to glue it down onto my background like that. So I've got a Ben-Day dot background, and I'm just going to make sure that I turn the orange part and pick the dry glue off the end of my glue before I start to try to use it. And you can do dots or lines of glue. I do lines. Just make sure you're not doing puddles, because it will not look as good and it'll just take a very long time to dry. So just make sure you're doing like a little bit of glue, not more than you need. Stick it down. There we go. So there's my face on my background. My eyes look kind of creepy, and what I did was I took a piece of scrap white paper and I cut two little football shapes out of those, and they just need a tiny bit of glue. And then I'm going to line those up where I want them, set them in place. Just a little bit of glue, doesn't take much. Stick those down really well. And then we can start to add details with our Sharpie. So I've got my eyebrows right here. That's a shape I can color in. The iris inside the eye, you know, it won't look quite as creepy when you have your iris colored in. You can outline your eyelids like this. Okay, so Roy Lichtenstein was really impressed by comic book art, and that's why he used primary colors like yellow, blue, and red. I've got red right here. I think I'll make my shirt red. So I'm putting the cap on my Sharpie. And you can kind of go through and measure things. Like I know it's going to be about that wide. So I can make little marks. Like it's going to be from there to there. So I just kind of measured really quickly. And then I can cut a little arc for my shirt. So I'll start right here on the corner, go up and around. And if it doesn't fit perfectly, that's okay too. Not really that big a deal if it doesn't fit perfectly. But there we go, pretty close. So mine's starting to come to life. And we're also going to add words to our Roy Lichtenstein picture. Because in comics, they almost always have boxes with thought bubbles or speech bubbles in them, and you can just take a white piece of paper and just draw a very simple shape out of it. This is a thought bubble, right? So if you're thinking, and then this would be a word bubble if you're saying something. And then the rule in comic book art is that the letters are always uppercase. They're always capital letters. So whatever you're thinking or saying in your portrait, you know, take a look at your face, whatever it looks like you're thinking or saying, that's what we can write for our thought bubble or our word bubble. We can also outline things like this, color things in. And then don't forget, we're going to do a word bubble with a word in it. All capitals. There we go. We can cut that out and then glue it right on there. See that? Here's one I did. I was thinking about Thanksgiving, and then I looked kind of happy in this one, so it was the end of the week. Anyway, hope you enjoy it. Don't forget to outline things in your face, color things in if you need to, glue it together, not too much glue, and recycle your scraps, and work hard and have fun.